Katie.
Hi.
Katie here. She's an online content writer / editor. You did do OF for a year or so, but you stopped in 2021.
Yeah.
Were you doing like just BG content, girl content, or just like solo content?
Mostly solo.
Okay.
Every now and then. Like,
Why did you quit?
honestly, I never felt like I could really commit to it, and I just couldn't. Like, if I really wanted to try to make a lot of money, I guess I could have done that. I was a very small operation, and I had a full-time job at the time, and I was kind of just like being crazy and having fun and just like not really knowing what I was doing. So I didn't really have a purpose for doing it. And then I just kind of got sick of it. It was like kind of a lot of work. So props to you who do stuff like that, because it's a lot.
Tell us about there was a threesome. What happened there?
Oh, that's one of my funnier stories that I thought might be interesting. But I had a threesome with a pregnant woman, and I didn't know she was pregnant at the time, but she just showed up and she was pregnant, and I didn't want to be rude, so
Wait, what do you mean she just showed up? Like you didn't know her?
Like
before and then you
hardcore
just had
showing?
threesome?
I met them
Belly?
on Tinder.
How
Yeah,
pregnant?
it was okay. It was like, it wasn't like about to burst, but it was like noticeable. Where I
Yeah.
was like, at first I was like, maybe she's just like heavy, and then I was like, oh no, I'm pretty sure she's pregnant.
Did you at least get godmother status?
You know what? Honestly, I should have asked. Been like, this is.
Wait, I have a
godchild.
question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you specified this. Your relationship,
Yes.
is it with a man or with a woman?
A man.
Oh, okay. I don't know where I got that from. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you bisexual though?
I am. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you had other threesomes, or is that just the single?
That was like my thing for a while. I was like a unicorn on Tinder.
Yeah.
And it
unicorn.
was like one of those things like some people have talked about, like seeking validation, because I had really low self-esteem, and it was just like an easy way to just feel validated and
How
good about
many
myself.
Unicorn threesome situations do you think you had?
Not that many. I would say maybe 2 to 3.
2 to 3? Oh, okay. You also wrote here your dating app experience prior to your current relationship was a practice in self-destruction.
Yes.
Too much chaos that came from insecurity. However, I don't think a high body count necessarily means a woman should be discounted, because I think trauma can cause both men and women to use sex as a coping mechanism before growing / learning and coming into oneself. So you said that the dating app experience was a practice in self-destruction. So, I mean, besides the 2 to 3 threesomes, were you also just having kind of, what's the term? Just
Casual
no,
hookup.
there's a different term for it. Indiscriminate sex with.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It often didn't actually like lead to sex, but it was a lot of first dates.
lot of first dates, okay.
And dates that like I didn't intend to have really go anywhere. It was just like, how can I keep like, I don't know, keep myself validated and busy. And typically it didn't go very far. It was like a lot of douchebags and just like, yeah, it was shitty. It sucked. I didn't meet barely anyone great. I don't know how people do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tinder's a bit like that.
And you said,
yeah.
We touched on body count a little bit here, but hold on. You said, find a lot of the raters.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we already did this, but we were talking about the rating, and in your notes here, you said, I also find a lot of the rate yourself answers frustrating. We were talking about physical reality, and being healthily confident is not the same as thinking you're physically perfect.
Yeah.
Did you want to weigh it? I think that's in response to like the 1 to 10 rating thing.
Yeah. So we already did that, and I just watching the show quite a bit. I find whenever someone gives an answer of like, I don't know, just like, not wanting to do it, but I don't care. No judgment to you guys, but I'm like, no, it's just like relative to what you think about yourself.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like I guess I'm just saying I agree with you in what you typically say.
Sure. And you said, going back to the body count thing, I don't think a high body count necessarily means a woman should be discounted.
Yeah.
Because I think trauma can cause both men and women to use sex as a coping mechanism. Do you care to elaborate a little bit on that? So would you object to a guy discounting a woman if she had a high body count?
I think it's, yeah. Like, I'm not going to, like, yell at them or whatever, but I think
Do you
there's,
think they're
like...
wrong?
I don't necessarily think they're wrong. I think as a general rule, it probably is like, I understand where you're coming from as a guy being like, I don't want you to have a high body count.
Sure.
But I think there are exceptions. I think it's like you said, like people can go through shitty things in life and learn to be better. And just because you had like a crazy past doesn't mean you're going to have a crazy future.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there's even someone who didn't have a crazy past and then kind of breaks and goes for it like in their 30s or 40s. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think there can be exceptions.
Sure. Well, going around the table on this question, does body count matter, and do you object to a man discounting, using her words here, discounting a woman with a high body count? Starting with you, going around. Go ahead.
Can you ask that last question about discounting?
Yeah, do you object to a man discounting a woman with a high body count?
I think the body count is really important. I think as a woman, your body count is a reflection of part of your value. And I don't see an issue with a man having a problem with a woman having a high body count. I think that it's reasonable and just.
Hunter donated
Hunter.
$100. Men's validation doesn't come from cheating, it comes from masculine achievement. The sexual marketplace for a man is the byproduct of that. With no achievement, the man's access is nearly zero.
Wait, the sexual market for men is the byproduct? Okay.
I kind of look at the point of that.
Thank you, Hunter, for that thought. Appreciate it. Thank you, Hunter. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think body count is really important. I think it's a reflection of your value as a woman.
Okay. All right.
I don't really care if somebody discounts me because I have a high body count. They're not typically the people I look for anyway. I personally don't think it's important, but that's it.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
So do you object to men discounting women because of their body count?
No, everyone has a preference.
Okay. I think we know your position on it. Yeah. You think that's, you disagree with men doing that?
I believe in, people as a whole. I don't think just because your body count is high that you're necessarily like going to be a shitty partner.
Okay. What about you?
I definitely think body count matters, but it's a little bit more than just like a black and white thing. I think it's that it should be both. It's not just women's like body count should be discounted by men or whatever. I think it's both, that both men and women's body counts matter.
Okay.
I agree with that take. I think men and women's body counts should be both considered. But going back to like the final question, should men be shamed, or should men like have the right to just reject a woman because of her body count? I think it depends on the man, because if you are a man with a high body count and you have that standard for yourself, you want to go for a woman, you disregard a woman who also has a high body count, I think you should even out your values for the both of you.
Okay, I have a response to that, but go ahead, Sarah.
I think people can have preferences, and I think it's fine to say, I don't want to be with someone who's promiscuous or whatever. But I also just don't I think it's just the word value bothers me, because I just think it's kind of sad to think I have less value as a person because of things that I've done. And I think it's like kind of this, like you were saying, you struggle with self-worth, and you think because I think you're attributing your value to like your value in the sexual marketplace. But
I don't struggle with self-worth, but I think that, obviously sexuality plays a big part in your value as a woman. I think if you have a high body count, you're not as valuable as a woman who is a virgin.
I think, when we're using this term value, and I think perhaps, Sarah, where you're maybe misunderstanding, is when we're using this word value, we're not saying like your value in terms of your life value, your value as a human being. It's used in the sense of your value in the dating marketplace.
yeah, you're saying your sexual market value, like what the average person would want. So in that case, I think yeah, body count matters because a lot of
Okay.
men probably would prefer a lower body count. I mean, that's kind of
Word.
just a
Yeah,
fact.
divergent.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I don't like using the word belly because it's just kind of sad. It's like,
Or body count.
I just don't
phrase
like
body
it.
count
I
is
feel like
so-
it's only sad if you
Well-
have a high body count and you
I don't feel like
aren't
it's
a
sad.
virgin.
Well, because body just like removes the soul.
Hunter donated $100. A woman's body count should be 0. Her job is to protect her man's spirit. How can a woman protect a man's spirit if she couldn't protect her own? A man's job is to provide and protect physically.
I would agree with that. I think the most valuable woman would ideally be a virgin. I think her job, like if I could go back and change everything and have a higher value as a woman, I would spend my time cooking, learning how to cook better food, staying away from going out, not going to clubs, not going and, traveling. I think that that's something that high value men look for, and I wish that I could change the trajectory of like what
What's
I've...
stopping you from doing that now?
That's a good question.
Wait. Sorry. You answer the question. Go ahead.
I haven't been with someone in quite a while. I've been, I guess,
Stop the
celibate.
cap.
You've been celibate?
I have. It has been a bit, but
How long have you been celibate for?
I'd say maybe a year,
Maybe a year.
maybe.
She's so full of
Give
shit.
or
guys.
take.
She's so full of shit. Well, I want you to answer his question, but like I do think you're pandering a little bit with some of your answers. Like I get the impression that you're pandering. Like I don't know if you're actually like you genuinely hold some of these positions and you're just like trying to like
those-
pander
feels like
to
you're
the
trolling a
audience.
little
But
bit.
chat, do you think she's pandering a little bit? Anyways, go ahead.
I think that's fair. I mean, I think that my opinion would definitely cater to an audience like this, so I think that's a fair opinion to have. I know that I may not follow through with what I'm speaking about. I know that I'm not the ideal woman. I get that, but that doesn't mean that I don't know what's right from wrong. I know that I've made the wrong decisions. I feel like if I were trying to pander to the audience, maybe I could tell people that I don't have a body count of 4 or that, I haven't been with anyone, but I have, and I am on OnlyFans, and I'm not the perfect woman, but that doesn't mean that I don't know what's right and what's wrong. That doesn't mean that I don't know what a high value man looks for in a woman. I know these things, and I know that I'm not that person, but I still am aware.
So why do you continue to do the wrong thing then? Like,
I mean, that's a great question.
Has to be a reason.
I think, I wish that I could have a good answer for that question. I think that I'm just not sure exactly what, like everyone says, what I want to do right now with my life. And I think that, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe that I can be forgiven. I know it's sad, but
Well, I have a whole here. We'll come to that in a sec. And what's your body count?
The only time I get to speak is when I
Yeah, exactly. That's why she's here.
I'm a virgin. I'm kidding. It's 8.
4.
I can give like a roundabout,
Sure.
like 120.
120. Okay.
4.
4.
8.
0.
0.
0.
Whoa.
That's
Okay.
a lot of virgins.
Jake.
Surrounded by purity here.
Yeah.
Feel it rubbing off on me. That's between me and the man upstairs.
Okay. All right. Good times. Okay. That's everybody's body count. Thanks for watching the Whatever Pod. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So you say men should not discount women because of their body count. I think they can be discounted. I think
If
they
you
can
want
discount.
to, that's fine. Yeah. I would prefer, I would be more into somebody who wasn't so judgmental. So that's where I'm coming
So
from.
do you think it's judgmental, wrongly judgmental for a guy to not want to date a woman with a high body count?
I think it's just when I hear people talk about this, it comes with a kind of vibe that's like looking at women with disgust. I think if you're saying it and
Promiscuity. I don't think it's looking at women with disgust. It's looking at promiscuity with disgust.
and that's
And
fine.
I think that disgust. The reality is STDs are a thing.
Oh, absolutely. Like STDs for sure that's something to be
Right.
concerned about.
So somebody who
But
has a high body count is more likely to have an STD, for example.
I guess I would just always think that this person would be checking, like not just not
Well,
just
what about
fucking anyone.
Yeah,
who
I mean,
moves.
something
Excuse
could
my language.
perhaps maybe they haven't tested for it. Maybe it's maybe they have HPV. They don't know. Maybe I think even with herpes, you can perhaps be totally asymptomatic, but I don't know. I don't want to say something that's just factually, scientifically incorrect, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's just more of like and it's not you guys, it's just the tone of a lot of these
Sure.
conversations. It ends up being like, oh, and if she has a high body count, oh, horrible, like disgusting. And
No, I
think
mean,
it's just-
I avoid using that sort of language, but like just I would prefer a woman with a low body count.
yeah, and I respect that for sure.